Welcome back. I hope your variable components exercise went well last week. Now, this week, where are we in the structure? L, let's agree. Two key things at this point. This is where you're going to get your objections because this is where you're looking to close. The bit that all salespeople love and dread in equal measure. So, let's start with the difficult bit. Let's start with objections. Dealing with objections shouldn't be too difficult. Most businesses I work with get no more than 5 to 10 common objections that come up all the time. However, because you're probably going to have heard a lot of those objections previously, the temptation is to jump in straight away and say, okay, we can deal with that nice and easily. That's not the way to do it. It doesn't show that you've considered them properly, and it doesn't show that you've really thought about their situation. So how do we deal with that? As you might expect, we've got a really short acronym in order to be able to help you remember how to work through that process. And this one, very fittingly, is CALM, C-A-L-M. This is what you need to be able to do in this circumstance. So let me just walk you through those 4 steps. First step, the C, check. Check your reaction. That's what that means. Check your reaction facially, verbally, your body language. What you don't want to do is jump in too fast. Take a breath at that point. Just take that time to calm any emotion that you've got. And then what you're going to do is you're going to ask questions. Even if you know straight away how to answer that objection, give them the satisfaction of making sure and demonstrating to them that you understood and that you're understanding this concern and you're taking it seriously. Find out everything you can about it. Obviously, if you're asking questions, then the L, listen. Listen to what they're saying. Now, that's really important that you do that and that you're seen to be listening, because maybe, just maybe, what they'll do in that circumstance is come up with something you haven't heard before. The other thing that happens if you get them talking is that on a decent percentage of times they talk themselves out of it. All this is something in their mind they want clarified, and as they talk it through, they work it out for themselves and it becomes a non-event. You don't have to then deal with it yourself. So check the way you are, ask your questions, then listen, and also at that point repeat back to them. Show them a little bit of a summary that you are listening. And then that final M there, what are you going to do? Once you've understood it, you're going to ask them if there's any more. Is there more? A bit like Oliver Twist. Why would you do that? Very, very simply. If it's up here, if it's in their mind, get them to say it. Then at least you've got an opportunity of dealing with it. Now, once you've done that, what you can do is respond confidently and in a manner that they know you've understood and listened to their concerns. Okay, the other element, closing. Loads and loads of sales companies do lots of work on closing techniques. There's all sorts of different expressions. The puppy dog close, the half Nelson close. And do you know what? They're all rubbish. If you follow this structure properly, and if you actually make sure that you performed well at each element of the structure, if you've understood the value that the customer is looking for, you've demonstrated that value and you've dealt with their objections, what is there to say at that point other than, what do you think then? How does that sound? Shall we get that sorted? Now, that should be the simplest thing in the world. Unfortunately, surveys show that more than 60% of salespeople leave without asking. That's criminal. You've done 90% of the work. All you've got to do at that point is just ask a very simple question. Now, this is about the agreement. So once we've got that agreement, we need to make sure that we've agreed the details correctly. I would always recommend you write back to the customer so it's clear what the agreement is. Customers, unfortunately, especially on more technical deals, have a selective memory, I think we can call it sometimes. The further you get away from the day that that deal was made, the more that misinterpretation can take place, either deliberately because circumstances have changed or simply because they remember it differently. Now, your task this time, I said most businesses have 5 to 10 common objections they come up with. So what I want you to do is take those common objections and work out what your best response to those objections are. You're still going to go through that calm process so that you're demonstrating that you understand, but you'll take them through that process and then probably use one of those answers at the end. So good luck with that, and I'll see you in a week.